This is a water chiller that provides cooling water to the torches and to the mandrel of the machine. This is all flooded with water during operation. This has a separate disconnect from the machine. Here's your mandrel latch. So when you load a part into the machine, part goes in. You have to shut the mandrel latch, similar to other machines up there. Interlock switch to make sure that the mandrel is clamped before you activate the fingers. Foot pedal. That's one set of fingers. That's the other set of fingers. Then you go over the controls and you start your cycle from the control console right adjacent to the machine. That's where you make your settings for the arc voltage control, cold wire feed. Here's the spool mount. The travel carriage has a manual disconnect, and you see the motor up on top of the carriage. And then if you go into the valley here, this is a wire guide manipulator for adjusting your wire guide. That's a critical portion of it because with this process you're melting the wire off with the weld puddle, not the welding arc. It's not like MIG welding. And then these gauges right here are for alignment of the seam because you have to get the seam aligned on the detail of the copper bar. If you look in this area here, these small holes are for the backing gas to come up for this groove. This groove is for your liquid to drop through in the back side of your seam. It's very small right now, and that is something worth discussing because I don't think you want any more drop through than necessary, but you want enough. So if you needed to open up this slot, that would be a topic for discussion as well. And I'm going to show you some of the settings here. I'm going to reposition my camera and show you how some of the program settings. All right, here's your main screen on your control console. There's only 3 buttons up here, a start and a hold and an e-stop. You can always return to the main screen, and there's locations for your arc voltage control settings, current settings. There's a run screen for your operator when you're actually in operation. It shows you status of different devices, wire feed settings, and AVC control as far as there's limits you can set for maximum and minimum voltages. You can run with or without the AVC enabled. Most of the time for a given setup you'll be running with the run screen, and I believe these settings will be very similar because it looks like the gauge of the material on the 2 size samples we have is the same gauge and the same joint. It's just a matter of the diameter and length. So it wouldn't hurt to run through this with whoever's going to be the operator, person to person. That's something that we can discuss. We're going to do a few more samples here today and send you some video, and we're going to mail you some samples to let you inspect them. Okay, we're running at 200 amps, about 13 volts. We're dripping in about 12-15 inches of wire per minute. We have argon gas top and bottom of the part. We had pre-tacked part with run in and run off tabs. When this gets off the machine, we're going to give it a look over, and that one's going up for examination up there, and you guys can tell us how close we are. Because this is what I think you're expecting to see, but I got to know what you're expecting to see. We got AVC turned on, although I don't know if it's necessary all the time. Cold wire feed. Air pressure set at about 40 psi. You don't need a lot of air pressure on this machine. I'll send the parameter sheet with it when I send the part up. the end of this sequence, it's going to do an auto unclamp, return to home, and then I'm going to pull it off so you can take a look at it. Positive reinforcement, a slight amount. And I don't know what you're looking for in the tie-ins here where we have our tabs. I don't know if you want to see that run over. I imagine this is a fit-up location for your end caps, so we have to discuss that a little bit. If we flip it over, look on the inside.
Oh, give me just a second.
We have one little spot where we didn't penetrate and the rest is dropped through. There may have been a tack weld there. I think this is what you're looking for.